Today's topic is why 95% of diets fail. And this is kind of something we've spoken about in the past. It's not that we don't have a weight loss problem, we have a weight regain problem. And I think that's the big thing that people need to get their heads around. Because although, the title says why 95% of diets fail, diets work up to a point. Isn't that right, James?
Absolutely, and it's really important. It's why a lot of clients come to us in the first place for advice. They want to lose weight, and in part we're very good at helping them do that over the short term. So this is why 21-day challenges, 30-day challenges, 6-week challenges, they do so well. People come in, they lose a bit of weight, they feel great about themselves, but guess what happens? They go back to old habits. That motivation wanes, it just goes, and they don't keep to a system or keep to a program where they can keep the weight off. It's a big thing. So yeah, you're right, Josh. We have a weight regain problem, not necessarily a weight loss problem, which affects everything we do in life.
Yeah, exactly. What is it, do you think, about why do people regain the weight, do you think? What are some of the main reasons?
Well, I think, in honesty, most diets are unsustainable. I think if we look at what people try and do, what everyone's trying to teach you to do, is that you've got to go into restrictive eating mode where you don't eat that much. Like this stupid Michael Mosley 500 calorie diet, that type of stuff. That's not realistic.
Oh, I saw an advert for his 800 fast on the telly the other day. It's now advertised on the telly. Yeah. His fast 800. Sorry, fast 800.
Fast, and it just isn't sustainable for people. It just people lack willpower. The body is craving food. It's hard to get over that hump, and you need to try and curb it in, but you can't if it's on such a restrictive diet. So I think people stay on restrictive diets for too long, or trainers don't realise that they're on a diet for too long. Therefore, they keep them in, and then they just binge eat as a result of it. So there's lots of different things.
Yeah, or they go too restrictive too quick and give up everything that they enjoy, which again, might work for a little bit. But if you enjoy eating a bit of pizza every night or some pasta or whatever it is, if you completely give that up, again, you've only got so much willpower. There's only so long you're going to be able to sustain that for until, it slowly starts creeping back in. You come off your diet and you end up back to where you started.
Well, exactly, and just the stats alone say it all. I think year one, 70% of people have regained weight. Year two, 85% of people have regained the weight. And by the end of year three, guess what? 95% of people have regained the weight. So we're looking at, over a 3-year period, that all diets have a 95% failure rate. That's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. So, and what's even worse is that from these stats, most people are likely to regain more weight than they actually lost. And there's loads of reasons why that may be, but you just need to bear that in mind. It's actually a rebound, that rebound effect almost, that's happening and kicking in. So yeah, there's lots of problems. And I think it's why we adapted our system of training and our system of dieting differently. So when people are dieting, we definitely follow the Matador Principle. Yes, you can achieve weight loss faster if you stay in a deficit for a longer period of time. However, we use the Matador effect, which is the 2 weeks on or 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks off, depending on how we feel and how we're using it, to help curb those cravings and teach the body to keep the weight off for long term. It's about the longer play as opposed to the short term play, where once you come off the diet, wheels come off, there you go, you start eating whatever you want. Whereas when we use the Matador effect, when we're going from a restrictive diet for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, to a week refeed or 2 weeks of refeed, where that's not a cheat week or overindulgence week. It's where we're going back to your maintenance calories that we've calculated at the start. That's where we tend to work better.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's back to maintenance, so you can still eat the things that you enjoy as long as you're within your maintenance. So it's not cutting anything out. You can eat what you want as long as you are, within your maintenance calories, of course.
Exactly. Well, good example recently, I've dropped 6.5 kilos by eating mince pies every day. There you go. For those who don't know what a mince pie is, it's like cookies in the UK, but with a bit of like pastries inside as well. So there you go.
It's very much a Christmas thing, isn't it?
It is very much a Christmas thing, very much a British thing. But the point is, and again, I ate a couple of burgers, I've eaten various different things, but I kept myself within a deficit. the entire time. And that is what's led me to losing that weight over the long haul. And even now, I'm off my diet technically at the moment, but I'm still maintaining it. I'm still maintaining the weight loss I've done because I'm eating at a maintenance, because I know what my maintenance is, but I'm not restrictive in the foods that I'm eating.
Exactly. In an ideal world, you should know what your numbers are, what your calorie maintenance is, because what we say, if you don't know the numbers, you're not in the game, essentially. But also, people, they go too restrictive, cut too much stuff out, and then as soon as they come off that diet, they'll just go back to exactly what they were doing before, and they'll put all the weight back on. So it's about ingraining good habits, right? And obviously your body's fighting to get back to that homeostasis. It wants to get back to that set point. So we often try to reverse people out of their diet rather than just coming straight off, and that seems to have to work well for people.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's the harder bit is to come off the diet than it is to actually go on the diet itself, because you want to keep eating. You think, I've done this enough now. I've done this for long enough. I want to come off it. But that's the fact, is the hardest bit is to come off it, to maintain it over the long haul, and that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. I'm still trying to eat here now. I'm still tracking my calories when I'm off my diet, because I want to know what I'm eating to make sure I'm eating at maintenance, so I can make sure I can maintain it as best as possible. And if I creep up in weight, well, guess what? I'm eating too much for the body to be used to at the moment. So I'm trying to cut it back down afterwards.
And we're also trying to go on the sort of high energy flux, which we've spoken about on previous podcasts for you as well, which is increasing your NEAT using weight vests and all sorts of stuff. So we will give an update on that moving forward. Anything you want to say as we wrap up, James? Any tips that people should think of? Yeah,
just for those guys and trainers who are out there thinking about how to help their clients and why they're like yo-yoing in their weight loss phase. Like I'd say, look at the Matador study, Google the Matador study. There's a whole lot of research about it. We use it. It's the best system to start with for what we use. That's important. There's no one right system for everybody, but we find that most people start well with the Matador study, and then we need to adapt it accordingly here. So if any coaches and trainers out there wondering how we do it, well, it's based on that, and that's a good starting point when we work with all our clients moving forwards.
Exactly. That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review and subscribe. And if you want to find out more about our system of training, go to strengthmatters.com/system.